Welcome back to another episode of Silent Pals Go to the Movies. This is another Throwback Thursday review, and today I will be reviewing The Dirty Dozen. And just a fair warning, there's going to be spoilers up ahead, so you've been warned. During World War II, a rebellious U.S. Army major is assigned a dozen convicted murderers to train and lead them into a mass assassination mission of German officers. So let's begin with my first pro. This film does not only have really good actors or famous actors, but most of them did serve during World War II, so they do know what war is like. Also, the acting in the film is decent. It has comedy elements. It even shows the bonds between some of the Dirty Dozen develop in one way or another, and that does resemble sort of a team, given that it is a Suicide Squad. Next point is that there is good action in the film, not only at the end during the mission, but there is some parts where you see the group take a few for the team, either by standing together or working together for the same goal, all the way to even physically taking a hit for the mission and not ratting out the mission or Lee Martin, who plays Major Restman. Also, the Major does stand out by not giving up on the guys and showing that he does in one way or another care about them and does want to see them succeed and come home alive. Next point, the director Robert Outridge did a good job in filming the book adaptation and keeping things in it, even when they told him that if he left things in, he would lose the chance of winning any award. But I also have to say that if he didn't have the right cast in the movie, this movie would have been a bit weaker and it wouldn't have the same grit feel to it. Next point is the real group The Dirty Dozen was based off in the book and the movie is the Filthy 13, a demolition group during World War II. This group was actually tasked with sabotaging enemy targets behind enemy lines, so that just makes them really badass in itself. They gained the name by refusing to bathe in order to save the water ration to later cook game that they would get their hands on, and also the way they cut their hair in mohawks and painted their faces, which gave off the feel that they don't follow the rules. So now that you know this fact, you can see how this inspired the book and also the film The Dirty Dozen. And now moving on to my cons. First con is the story was a bit slow to build up, but afterwards it was fine. So the con here is the length of the movie. If they would have cut some of the unnecessary stuff, some scenes, and left the bond building elements between the group, then it would have been somewhat better and a bit shorter. But still, 2.5 hours is a bit long for a simple story like The Dirty Dozen. Next con, Telly Savalas, who played the character Maggot, was not a good fit for the group, not just because he did betray them at the end, but for the fact that what he believed in did not fit with the rest of the group. And I guess he was just there to show how off-hinged some of the people could have been in the group, but even if they took his character out, it would not have affected the outcome since they all die except Charles Bronson's character. Next con would be the mission in itself. It could have had more suspense than what it actually did. It's maybe some guys got captured, but they refused to talk and give up the others, but still at the end, the Nazis do kill them, or the mission has some more hiccups and they actually have to adapt to the situations that is thrown at them by using some weird techniques. For example, Posey could have gone into a rage against the Nazis and just rushed them and taken out a bunch of them before he gets gunned down, and the last line that he delivered would be something along the lines of "they shouldn't have pushed me." So in this way, we actually see some of the characters go down and they actually play to us feeling something for them and not just assume that they died off screen like some of the characters did. So my grade for this movie is going to be a 6.5 out of 10. This movie has some good action, but it is slow to build up. But if you want to see a war movie that is sort of the original Suicide Squad, but not DC, then go ahead and give this movie a watch. But do remember that it is 2.5 hours long. So that does it for this review of The Dirty Dozen. Please join us next time when we're going to review Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Kid, there's something I think I ought to tell you. I never shot anybody before.
One hell of a time to tell me.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. You can find our social media links below. And like always, keep watching movies.